Good morning, good morning. We are, well, I guess, I guess kind of evening for those of you in the UK. We happen to have one of our Tier 4 tier games going on right now. It's going to be Stray Dogs versus the Knights Templar. Especially since, the EU folks do happen to have Knights Templar as their reps at this point in time. Stray Dogs used to be Yokohama, well, maybe only a couple members of Yokohama from last season. Newly formed team, it looks like. With me, I have Jedi.
Whoop, whoop. Whoop, whoop.
As a fellow caster, last minute to fill in here. Okay, so we are. Oh, what? Oh, I totally forgot that Arya actually ended up changing her PSN to fade to ash. Sorry, I'm actually turning off this device because I want to use my other controller.
So she's no longer Erin Del Steel? Something Steel?
Right.
Arya?
Yeah, it was Ariandel Steel was what it used to be. So it just took me a second. She let me know that she was doing it the other day, and I totally forgot. It didn't even clue in because she was talking about how he wouldn't let her DPS.
Right.
And I was like, "What does that have? What do you mean?" And then after a second, it had me clue in. Okay, so we're going to be going. Willow is going to be moving into damage roll. No, not moving into. It's not like we've actually done a match yet, but. Adol's, we're doing Smash, Katoshi, Fuego, and then Willow's going to be on the Demarche.
DPI Stanley on the Twitch stats said that he's just here to bully the tanks. It's gonna be a good one. I do expect Knights to win this one though. But I feel like this is gonna be a good match either way. It could go either way.
Yeah, pretty much. Actually, the fact that Stray Dogs, I mean, right now it's a little bit of a makeshift team, I think, at the moment. They were having some problems with some roster coming into this, so I know that, obviously Ash is subbing in from them from Hysteria. But it's a newly formed team, so it's kind of I've only watched Stray Dogs. I think they've only had one game, haven't they?
Yeah.
Okay, so I've watched their one game. Knights Templar, long-standing group here. I mean, Sai, Hero Dax, Paleon, all veterans. So.
And this season they did pick up GP and Ali, and that just made them a lot better.
Jupiter's actually was one of their solid pickups, and bringing Paleon, I know, came in on their team late last season, but that was a very strong DPS choice there. Actually, give me 2 seconds.
Oh, it does look like the first map is going to be Busan. My most hated control map. I hate that map so much. So much.
Alright, it looks like that both teams are actually ready, and we can actually get the match started out for our very first round on Busan.
Such a hated map. I hate it.
Now
Hate it.
traveling to Busan.
Oh, and looks. Oh, Wait.
already got a DC, so I'm just gonna actually
Already
bring
got
us back to the
DC.
lobby.
It may switch it from mecha base to.
Yeah, it may switch it back off of mecha base for this next one here, but yeah, we'll just end up making sure that Jupi can get back in, and then we'll get it going.
Oh, they were just saying that they DC'd. I was like, what? Why are you tagging? Fastest DC in the West. It do be like that sometimes, though. You just randomly DC. I mean, it happened to you, Guardians. Ah, man. I still hate Busan. It's just one of the worst maps. Like, not even design-wise. I just don't like it. It's just one of my least favorite maps, which is crazy because I do like it since it is kind of Diva's like origin place. It's still like ugh, blah, blah. Fast food. I don't know. I don't know what to talk about fast food. I do miss Jack in the Box. I used to live in California, so I would go to Jack in the Box all the time. But then moved over to Indiana, and there's no Jack in the Boxes anywhere. That's one of my favorite fast food places ever. But I guess it's kind of good that there's not a lot of fast food places over here, or that they're like more unhealthy. You want to know how out of shape I am, though? I got Ring Fit Adventure for the Switch the other day, and I only did the first level of it, and it was only 2 minute workout, light jogging, 2 minute workout. I was out of breath, and I was sore the next day. I was like, what? It was a humbling experience. I would definitely recommend Ring Fit Adventure if you want to come and get into a little bit of shape, because that was crazy. I was humbled by that. I thought I was in a lot better shape than I was.
Alright, looks like both teams are ready yet again, now that Jupi's back in here. Sorry about that. Let's get that. We've got both readies gone. Alright, so it's probably not going to be mecha base.
Mecha base.
Oh,
it is
oh,
mecha base.
and we get mecha base. The chances. Don't worry, folks. Nothing was ruined in the making of this map.
I just, man, I hate Busan. This is like actually one of my favorite points on Busan, but it's still like
Really? I don't know. I don't know. I prefer downtown and the Sanctuary one
I
myself.
hate Sanctuary.
I love
hate
it.
it. It's probably because like I want to be, because I like to use corners a lot, and like I've started using corners a lot more, and I don't know, like this one I feel like I can actually protect myself a little bit more than
Fair.
the other ones.
Now it is looking like we are going to be seeing the mirror matchup for the tank lineup here, the Ryan Zarya here, but
Different DPS lineups here.
yep. Both going with a hit scan and projectile, and then both going with Moira, and they're just choosing their secondary support slightly differently. I'm imagining that they're going to start trying to give, maybe using Jupiter's for some pocketing.
Main tank difference. You see what's going on between Sai and Beta Ash. Oh, and the barrier gets destroyed. From Stray Dogs first, Reinhardt's first. And Sai's shield gets destroyed as well.
Ash goes in.
Oh, quick little touch there by the Genji, and the McCree from Knights stops the progress. Oh, but a pick right there. Two picks from Stray Dogs, able to force Knights off of the point. They still.
Oh, she's so aggressive there.
Yeah. So Knights were able to get some percentage points there first, but then Stray Dogs were able to flip it over. Let's see how. Oh, Rally comes out from Stray Dogs. Shatter gets blocked, but
Counter Shatter
from Knights doesn't get blocked. Oh,
Willow,
so
I'm actually
like
surprised, lived through that first part of the charge. He must have got a bubble in the last second. It didn't show on my screen, but
good counter Shatter there by the Knights, able to take the point here back.
Let's fight!
And now Knights are grouped up on the bottom stairs, trying to get the Stray Dogs to come in a little bit. They are going to give Willow a chance to be able to back up or get from behind them. So Tyre comes out, and Visor comes out from Stray Dogs.
there was actually a whole bunch of balls. We had, what, Grav, Tire, Blade, Coalescence, like it was all over the place from both squads there. Actually, both.
Yeah, yeah, it looked like the Grab and the Dragon Blade from Knights, which gave Knights the advantage there to get a little bit of picks.
Now Dulce does happen to have his grabs. This might actually be where they're going to be trying to win back the point. He's looking for an opportunity. Unfortunately, Fade Dash goes down.
There.
That might delay it out. No, they got the Coalescence is actually getting a good chunk of damage out. They're actually keeping in this. Okay, Dulce is finally backing up.
Oh, risky right there. Good red there. Ash does charge into the point right there to try to touch the point before the timer comes out. Big tire there from Knights, able to take out 3 people. Shatter comes in to be able to take down Willow, but it looks like Knights is going to be able to take this first point.
It's unfortunate because you could see that Dulce was actually trying to look for a good opportunity to get that grab off and just wasn't able to actually feel confident in the fact that his team was available to back up. I mean, they weren't in any position to, so holding it off probably was the better call, but just unfortunate they weren't able to get that off.
Come on, come on, come on! I will protect the innocent.
Oh, good job.
Next point here.
Remember your training?
Sanctuary.
We'll get through this just fine.
It's too easy for like teams to be able to flank also. Like if they're good at like Tracer or Soldier, and they just are able to flank, effectively.
Might be an explanation as to why I actually enjoyed this map then. Not because of those two heroes, but I like the old Genji Doomfist, which are pretty strong on this one. Pharah is great on this one.
And
Make it okay.
So it looks like Stray Dogs do change over to, or are having the Mei and the Symmetra. Ashe does get picked off first, as well as a Dig from Stray Dogs. So Knights do have the numbers advantage here. They're able to tap this point first.
Sai put himself way too deep. Luckily his team is showing up in order to give him a hand.
And like you said, Pharah, for the Knights, Pharah is a strong character here, a strong hero here.
In actuality, both the Hanzo and the Pharah are actually super strong here. Same thing with actually, there's some pretty good strong picks actually from the Knights on this particular map. Oh, the soldiers coming in for the flank on the side there. Oh, actually,
Coalescence comes in
Smasher.
for Stray Dogs.
Trying to get some turrets set up on point from the opposite angle.
Coalescence comes in for the Knights, and as well as Hanzo's ult.
Forces people away a little bit.
Ashe is by. Oh. So both of the main tanks for the teams are picked off. And just for a second there, Knights did step off of the point. Barrage comes in for the Knights, able to clean up. Get a couple picks there from the Barrage. And Ashe is waiting there for her team to be able to push in a little bit.
Now I'm not entirely certain as to exactly what they're attempting to accomplish right this second with the Symmetra for Stray Dogs at this point in time. And the back shatter from Sai!
Good sneaky flank shatter.
But not exactly, it cost him his life. There was not a whole lot of follow-up. That could very well have been a communication issue.
Hanzo ult comes out again for Knights. Big shatter there from Ashe, able to take out GP. Dose finally does use the grab right there, and looks like
they canceled out the grab flux from the Sigma.
Looks like at the last second there, Stray Dogs was able to flip that point over. For a second there, Ashe was actually up on top of the point.
Yeah, I noticed that one too. It's kind of funny.
From light into being.
So now this could be, it may have taken a little while, but
yeah. Now the sim can actually set up. I think that it may be a little better, but they weren't really using a lot of like the strat that you are with the sim. The
sim wall comes in,
which is a strong ult, which gives them a good chunk of space to work with. Willow is actually getting a couple of picks off there.
Willow does
get
taken out though, not before getting one of the off tanks. The off tank does get res. Barrage comes in again, takes out two people before getting taken out by Moira. With the Coalescence also from Knights coming in.
Oh, and Visor
comes out
in the mix. Willow trying to duck and weave through the enemy. Legs only do so much.
Oh, and they couldn't touch to be able to do contest. Good first map. Good.
And we got our first Apollyon Games getting first play of the game here. A little hiding spot. I like how it swapped the colors around for the play of the game.
Yeah. A lot of damage block.
And Orin, just to answer your question, the DDM game is not till 5 p.m. Eastern Time.
that was a good first map right there. Good first play.
It was. It was.
Knights have been playing together for a while now, so you can see that good synergy between all of their team members. And with Stray Dogs, I know you said that there were a couple of subs there, so maybe they used this first map to be able to see how they play together and then talk it out and figure out a way to attack Knights for the next map.
Yeah, no, I mean, it'd be interesting to see if they happen to do any swaps, if they're getting a feel for what some of their subs will really help to strive for. We have... They are going to swap Apollyon and Psy for Numbani. So let's get this moved over to Numbani first. Which I love the fact that we're actually seeing Numbani more. That was something we actually like. It's a great map. I mean, there's obviously lots of great maps in the hybrid type, but last season we always see friggin' King's Row or maybe even Eichenwald.
Yeah.
We like to choose Hollywood, obviously, along with Numbani. But it's good seeing more Numbani. Alright, so we're doing a swap here for Apollyon going to tank, while Psy is now being moved into a damage role.
Apollyon is also a good tank too. And Psy as well has some really good DPS qualities on him.
And
so
Willow will be giving Ashe the chance to do a little damage here. Willow moving into the tank role.
When I first got into the league, I mostly knew Ashe as like a tank support player. So the first time that I actually casted where she played DPS, I was pleasantly surprised at how well she was doing. Because I
with the
didn't know her
Junkrat?
as a DPS player. Yeah.
Yeah. Signature move for Ashe, which Numbani's actually on, especially on defense, great spot for Junkrat, because point A, there's a bunch of chokes that they have to come down that are just really tiny. So unless they end up going with dive or spreading out and everything like that, there's just a shit ton of spam you can actually end up getting in on this point.
Initiating match.
And I mean, as soon as you decide to go through the hotel at all, whether it's upper or lower hotel, right? That's where Junkrat's dream is to protect, right? Like those tiny little corridors.
And it always happens too. Like in our competitive matches, you see that happen all the time, and it's sometimes you just shake your head and like wonder why team, why would you do that? Why would you subject yourself to that? You know we have a Junkrat.
Oh, we're actually going to be seeing Ashe switching over to Hanzo. I don't think I've ever seen Ashe on Hanzo. Dax doing his classic Junkrat. Psy wanting to prove himself as another one of the Genjis of the tier.
Both teams are going to be running the Vine Zarya. And
although
Moira.
Psy's going to have a little bit of issues with the turret. So, pending on placement and everything like that, he's going to end up needing to actually require his team to actually try and help take that out. Oh, and they're doing like a really cheeky like first. That's actually really good for Psy right now, because now that that's out, he's got 10 seconds to try and sit there and set up and not have to worry. If his team can push in and start making some space for him quick, they can actually take advantage of that.
Looks like Knights is going to be going up to the top of the hotel. They get
First pick on Willow.
Really good aggressive play right there. So they can push in and try to get this point here.
We got a new turret ready to
Smasher
go.
Yep, Smasher is on top. He'll drop down to the point. The turret is get taken out. Ashe does take out Hero Dex, so there's no Junkrat for the Knights. Well, Knights do manage to get one tick here. They're still fighting. They're still trying to push stray dogs off of the point here to be able to take the rest of the point.
They're doing all right with it. They're doing all right with it. They had somebody. Everybody got off for a second. And you just see the slave actually do a quick turn back. Like, is nobody on fucking point?
Yeah. So then Hero Deck does change off of the Junkrat over to the Pharaoh. Knights
Strong
do
choice
have
here.
Coalescence. They do have Nano. Coalescence comes out from Stray Dogs to be able to keep some people up and try to be a little bit more aggressive here too.
Fuego honing in that Coalescence just to keep his tank lineup alive. And a little bit of frontline pressure to force the enemy to back off.
Stray Dogs do have Grab. They do have Dragon. They have Shatter up here now. So that you could see a Grab Dragon here.
There we go. Out comes the dragon grab.
Oh, unfortunate.
Hey, Ash gets slept, but in the same time gets two with that dragon.
Yeah. I was gonna say, unfortunate this side happened to Blade at the same time that he got put into the grab there, so wasted Blade from Knights.
Oh, and the shatter is
Comes
blocked.
out and blocked from Knights.
And this is going to give Dulce a lot of ability to be aggressive right now because he's super high charged. I mean,
Coalescence comes out from
so is
Stray Dogs
Paleon,
again.
but
Coalescence came out just to be able to keep their team up. Hero Deck does have a barrage here from Farah, so maybe seeing a sneaky barrage from Farah. Sneaky Farah barrage.
I don't know about necessarily
Nana
sneaky.
comes
It's keeping primarily in the forefront of everything. I do like the fact that it's actually that they're using the Farah to try and take out the turret ASAP, right? A nice, good, strong push actually from the Knights here.
Good push there on the back of the Nano Drine there.
Oh, and they're going to actually end up having a little bit of a stagger on that Mercy. It's going to delay things. They're going to probably be able to cap this first next point, and they do.
Knights do have Shatter, they do have Barrage, but Stray Dogs have Shatter grab. The Shatter comes out from the Stray Dogs, does get Slave.
And as you predicted, we do end up seeing that the Farah was trying to get behind kind of sneakily, looking for that sneaky barrage, but now they're all by themselves. They're going to be like an easy target. Oh, they are trying to get out, never mind.
Yep.
I thought that they were actually
staggered
looking
there.
for it. I was going to question whether or not it was a smart move. I mean, sure, you could probably get one or two, but the team's only just getting together right now, so... They actually do happen to have their grab, though. So I have a suspicion that they're actually going to try and combo those together.
Either that one or with the Blade coming out from Genji. No, they might be wanting to save them since they do get...
Out comes the grab.
Oh, they used two though. They used the Dragon Blade and they used the Barrage.
Interesting. I don't know if it was wholly necessary to use both, because you could have used the Genji Blade for cleanup as they came out in a little bit of staggered sense, and
Especially since Slave does have Shatter there, so they can use that one.
well, they got Grab Dragons, so they're actually going to be getting ready for it. Oh, and just as you saw him go for it, and it gets canceled out. That is unfortunate. That is a really clutch sleep from Jupiter's.
Score 0-3. Switching sides. Initiating match.
Good first round there from this on Numbani. Knights really did a good job of being able to stay aggressive and trying to stagger the stagger some of the stray dogs that kind of were out of position.
Yeah, and I think one of the smarter things that ended up coming, I mean, they did end up having several times where, you know, ults came out where it felt a little uncoordinated because maybe the idea was there, but maybe communication wasn't. I do say that Stray Dogs were doing good at making sure that they actually had their solid, you know, one combo they needed to try and, like, if that was their win condition. It made it so everybody was kind of on the same page for them. But I think one of the big things that I was getting the steamroll after the first push in point A. They saw that early turret placement was there, got the turret out, and then they reacted quick after destroying that turret, because they knew they only had a short period of time before they actually had to, before there would be another one, right?
Yeah, like
and they moved on it.
Right?
Yeah, it's a 10-second cooldown and once it's destroyed. Oh, and we have a DCer. Starting my 1 minute countdown. Stopwatch, and go. Alright, so it's going to be a little bit longer than it, but... Now, because this is a NA versus... Oh, shoot.
Oh, yeah.
This map should have actually been a thing, so I'm going to have to actually... Okay, so he's there. Alright, we got...
We'll just do the next 2 maps on EU. What he was gonna say is because Knights Templar is EU, we do alternate the servers. So depending on who it is, like Team 1, if it was Knights, there was Team 1, then we would have started off on EU servers and then alternated to NA servers for the next map. But for this one, since it was Stray Dogs as Team 1, we started off on NA servers. And it should have been for this map EU servers, but we kind of dropped the ball on that one.
Alright, we're just making sure that both teams are ready before we get the unpause going. Because it looks like they are back in business on... Alright, well...
Oh, there it goes.
There we go. Alright, so... That is unfortunate because that means that they will be a man down for this very first push. This is going to give Stray Dogs a little bit of an advantage for this. They're going to want to play a little bit more defensively on the Knight side. Oh, and a rock. I thought that was actually going to end up pushing off the hog for a second there.
Stray Dogs do have their tank in there though, so there was a good hold even though they were man down there.
Yeah, the Knights having the man disadvantage ended up being alright in the end. They did kind of excuse me. They did end up kind of pulling through.
I don't know if you saw that, but the slave, the Reinhardt on Knights was swinging around there in the bottom of the hotel on the mega pack, just looking for that Sombra. Finally found her.
I did notice at the beginning, but I didn't actually find when he found her finally, because I swapped to somebody else. And the Sombra is now kind of going up behind. You can see it. The Ashe is going to end up looking for a hack target. I don't know who they're planning on targeting. They target the Reinhardt, but that does force the Ashe out. That really got...
Ooh, big tire there from Stray Dogs.
Why didn't I get
from Knights.
I didn't get the tire voice line. I also don't have music at the moment for the game.
Yeah.
I wonder if some of the audio...
Probably because of that pause. It does that.
Oh.
Allow me to repair the damage.
That's okay. I mean, I normally play without music, but when I'm playing, but not on this account. All right, and yeah, it was a big tire because they were looking to actually try and go in off of that hack, and it just didn't happen to get off at that point in time. Smasher found by the McCree.
Smasher in the middle,
in a dangerous spot here, somehow staying alive.
Oh, Slaver was trying to use the Shatter there, but does get taken out before Shatter comes in, so no more Shatter for Knights.
Apollyon being bullied. Oh, he gets hacked out of his ultimate.
High Noon comes out.
Hold up now. Too slow.
That was a good hold there from Knights.
I was actually shocked at that one. I actually thought the Stray Dogs had that. They were doing really well on that one.
They had a good sneaky chunk right there, getting from behind, getting that like one pick there. So it looked like they were going to be able to actually go in on that. But they do have EMP, they do have Tire, as well as Grab and Flux for Stray Dogs, so they could be able to use this and push in.
Don't let up. It's almost over.
Oh, big pick right there from Smash. With the Tire comes in.
Finding Junkrat and Jupiters.
Yep.
That's going to be looking really good for
Shatter comes out for the
Stray Dogs.
Just gets one person. Grab comes in for Stray Dogs. Finally take down Reinhardt there.
They are getting the picks. This should be what they need in order to cap this point. This is just going to be cleaning up at this point.
Roadhog comes out, and they
stun him out of it. That's perfect.
Tire comes out but it does get taken out as well. Hack from the Roadhog, and Stray Dogs does use Coalescence here to try to get a couple picks there, as well as keep the team up.
Stray Dogs do have the numbers.
Stray Dogs does still have the numbers. It's only Reinhardt and the Mercy. Mercy's kind of flying around. Finally does leave. Oh no!
Jupiter's trying to stall it out as long as possible to get some more members back to get the stagger, but at this point in time, it may just be continually feeding the ult charge for Stray Dogs. Stray Dogs might actually be able to get a couple of ults in this early stage of Streets phase, which may actually help them get through Streets phase nice.
And that long fight also gave them a chance to be able to get a Grab and Flux there too, for the Stray Dogs that they would be able to have. Reinhardt gets hacked from Knights. Knights do have high noon here that they'll be able to use, and Shatter is coming up soon too. Oh, again!
Actually, they gotta opt for a good Flux and a good Grab. Yeah, here comes the Flux.
Flux comes out.
Oh!
Does get a couple of people, but it doesn't get anybody though.
The individual shots from the Grab Flux were unfortunately blocked by a sign here, but counter Grab, hopefully trying to grab some people, trying to burn people down.
Tire comes out from Stray Dogs, looking to get somebody. Gets 3 people there, huge Tire. They will be able to use this to be able to push up here.
Be right back to repair the damage.
This is what happens too on like escort and hybrid maps, right? Like once you get that first point, you kind of, it's either really big steamroll and you just roll through the other points.
I'm out of here. Really much.
Yeah, I mean they're using the momentum that they ended up getting from that. Plus, like we mentioned earlier, that the staggering themselves out trying to stall point B and everything did feed a lot of ult charge to the Stray Dogs, which gave them a nice advantage going into that street
High
phase.
Noon from behind gets 3 people, another huge ultimate from the Knights. So they'll be able to use this to be able to hold them back, push them back.
They actually are using this as an opportunity to quickly drop out. They still have EMP, which it could be a huge play for them. if they want to try and use that. Don't really have much in order to combo with at this point in time. Sometimes an EMP itself can be enough.
Yeah. Or they can even use it to be able to counter Knights' beat drop.
Beat, yeah, if they want to use that against, if they're using like a grab or flux combo. Would be a solid choice for it. You know that Allie's got that right now.
Pro Lessons comes out from Stray Dogs, looking to just kind of push him a little bit. Grab, a counter grab.
Out comes the beat though.
Out comes the beat from Ally, from the Knights. Shatter comes in too.
We just got Ult City going on here.
Rally comes out from the Stray Dogs.
They got 60 seconds. They're gonna need to make a play. Out comes the grab.
Oh, and the grab.
And Smash Hero does end up getting the ability to follow up with it, getting 3 out of it.
Big charge there.
Oh
the charge
no.
from Knights was able to charge Willow off of the map there. But unfortunately it also charges himself. Fire comes out from
that actually
Dogs,
may be
gets 2 people.
huge.
Yeah.
Because this means that they can actually go into a huge team number advantage for this. Unless they get some random picks off, it's not looking good for them.
Doesn't look like anybody's on touching. Finally, Jupi was able to touch there in the last second. They need to push him off in the next 3 seconds or else they're not going to be able to have time to be able to attack.
And they're in overtime.
Oh, unfortunate.
Which means, yes, there's 3 minutes on the clock for Knights to do a quick 33%. And that'll end up being the round if they make that.
But even though Stray Dogs was able to get all 3 points, they did get forced into overtime, so that gives Knights the opportunity to be able to, like you said, just get that first tick to be able to win this map.
Ready for battle.
Wonder if they'll ever make this a Genji skin or something like that. If you ever look at the Atria, Nimbani, New York, Paris thing, they have like a couple of...
Attackers
I don't know if you're actually watching the stream.
Oh, yeah, I saw that. That would be cool.
It'd be a neat one. Actually, also kind of reminds me of Leona from League of Legends. A little bit.
Stray Dogs can do it. They can hold.
They could turn this into a draw. It's impossible for them to win, but they can turn this into a draw. And if they turn this into a draw, that is enough for them to start getting a reverse sweep going. And they are going to stick with more builders. So the turrets are coming out. Already the pressure's coming out. Strong Psy with first pick.
Right there. Willow gets taken out from the Stray Dogs. That could be enough. Both teams kind of fighting on point now. Looks like
and Ashe taken out by Psy as well.
Knights have the numbers here.
And this looks like it may be going...
Shatter there.
Wow, Shatter already from Slave as well already. And that ends up doing a map 2 to Knights. So we're at a 2-0 for Knights Templar. I feel like every time I'm reading the word Templar on the screen, it just looks wrong. I don't know why. I know it's not.
Yeah.
But it's just...
Smasher, did a really good job of being able to get behind Knights a couple of times. And...
Not always with great results, but he was able to get there, and I don't know, the one time we thought that the Stray Dogs were actually going to take that one fight when he got right in their face, right in the middle of all of them. I mean, he did get the one pick, but the one shocking thing was that he got out alive.
Yeah.
Alright, so we're actually going to be looking for the assault map choice, and we are moving lobby here, because I'm a dumbass and forgot to do it earlier. I mean, we've just been doing best available, so we're going to go to, I think, what's Netherlands? What we've been doing? For them? Oh, my elbow had a huge crack. What are you yang?
For your Netherlands EU server.
Oh. Oh, so Black Blazin is actually watching his team play at the moment. Wasn't able to attend. Well, I hope your cousin's wedding is just as fun.
Yeah.
Can we have African servers? Wait, why? Why?
What? That's not EU.
Now, I mean, this does give a little bit of, match point advantage, I think, to Knights Templar, but they've been doing surprisingly very well, regardless of being on NA Central servers this entire time.
Yep.
Ooh. And Willow is pushing for Russian servers. I don't think we can do that. We'd get hacked.
Yeah.
I don't know how to spell this. Fuck. I can't remember. Fuck. Alright, we got both teams ready. Let's go into map new. Oh, wait.
No changes?
I was just like, I didn't even actually get a map choice.
Maybe it'll be Volskaya.
It was.
Oh, that's what he meant when it said Russian.
Traveling to Volskaya in
Whoa! My friggin' keyboard went nuts.
Why did you do that?
It just kind of ran. I mean, it's wireless. It's old. It's gunked up. I don't use it too often. Well,
Gotta clean it, bro. Clean your stuff.
I'll send you a picture of it, and you'll see why it can't be cleaned that well. I got it when doing a couple purchases in college, and really old, like, short keyboard for Apple. But I was doing a couple of purchases because we were doing some server-related stuff, and it just happened to be there. And since my college course pretty much, like, needed Mac, and I actually have, like, a bunch of audio devices that will only run using Apple Mac OS. And they won't run on Windows because, well, Windows not optimized for that kind of stuff. Just like Mac is not optimized for games.
There's no dancing robot.
There's a dancing robot.
There's no dancing.
It's just a timing thing. Like, you gotta catch it at the right moment. And I don't know whether it's randomized or what. Alright, so we are seeing the Symmetra. Again, these guys are really liking the builders. They've been going with the Symmetra and the Torb and everything like that for Smash.
Knights is going to be running, or they are running a Ryan ball with the Genji and the Pharah, Moira and Mercy.
Oh, and Willow getting taken out first. That's going to be huge for the Knights to start pushing in.
Pick, yeah. Good first pick there from the Knights. They could possibly push in on that.
They just got to beware a little bit of this builder.
Does take out Ashe. And does take out Dosh too. Hero Dax pulling in work there. Cleaning up.
And they do happen to take control of this point fairly early. They're going to have a lot of time in that bank for point B. It does look like Stray Dogs have recognized that they have lost the point, and they're just kind of getting themselves all grouped up on point B.
Knights do have Shatter up. They are going to have Barrage up here in a second, as well as Coalescence. With possibly Valkyrie too.
They do. We will have Coalescence on both sides, luckily, for Stray Dogs.
Coalescence comes out for Stray Dogs. Shatter comes out from the Knights. Doesn't get anybody.
Actually, it got Smash, and it got Katoshi, who went down in the back.
Barrage comes in, cleans up a couple kills there. Looks like Knights are going to be able to take this point here.
Did I just watch? I thought I watched Sai go off the ledge for a second by mistake. And they weren't able to get on point. That is a huge time bank for a second attempt. 5 minutes, man.
Ashe on Ashe, yeah.
Ashe on Ashe action.
Initiating match.
That was good aggressiveness there from Knights. Able to push in and use those ultimates really well.
Mm-hmm. Well, they capitalized on that very first pick with Willow. I mean, Ball kind of did actually do well at distracting half the team to pull away, so the front line's pressure was actually a little bit on gone. I mean, getting that first pick on Willow was unfortunately the crux to them. It was the linchpin of just basically them just being like, all right, go.
Yeah.
Do you actually happen to have the Did we already accept your permissions for the sheet?
See, I think.
You did? Okay. I think Ari did that, so I just wanted to make sure.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Attackers.
Alright, we are going to be seeing them rocking a Pharah of their own. Ashe is going to be rocking Pharah. They're going with the Sim, so they're actually going to continue on with these teleporting strats. Teleport goes up, everybody's moved right to point.
Yeah. Good strategy here. It's one of those that, like, if you see it, you can react right away, but if you don't, you kind of get caught off guard.
These maps where you have teleporting strats and everything like that, it's really good. That's why it's really good to be going with, like, you know, Maze or the Pharah even as on defense on these ones. You could actually just boot people off of, like, where they want to go, or like wall off their direction. And right now, it looks like the Knights are starting to get the cleanup that they needed. Sai trying to peg down this pharmacy, but not so easy when you're she's got a pocket support. Oh, and Ashe almost getting the pick on that one.
Oh, you see that Roadhog trying to be a little bit sneaky there. To see if anybody comes in through that side, they'd be able to get hooked. But nobody uses that side. Coalescence comes out from the Knights there. Try to keep up the team. Also get a little bit of damage there. Barrage comes out.
Does get picked off by Sai.
Yes.
And he's just hunting down this Mercy, waiting to find out if she's going to poke herself back out. Little does he know, she's already gone.
Yeah.
Damage boost engaged.
Katoshi actually kind of evaded that one pretty well.
Schaden verstärkt. Let me get you patched up. Thanks for the assist.
We do have 4 stray dogs. They do have grab. They do get hooked.
Oh no, and Ashe kills herself. I'm assuming she was too close to one of her rockets. Out comes...
Oh, High Noon comes out from the Knights, but doesn't get anybody because the Symmetra wall does block it right in time. Valkyrie comes out for the stray dogs. Try to keep people up. Oh, but it looks like Willow gets tipped off with a point there.
And it looks like Fuego ended up going for the reset here.
You're going to be okay. Hello there. Rendezvous at my position.
Knight's doing a really good job of holding that choke point, holding it down there. Smash does switch off of the Symmetra over to the Junkrat to try to get a little bit more damage going in. Maybe get a couple of picks here. Slave just waiting.
This is going to hurt.
And they are kind of just occupying some of these angles, just kind of trying to coax them into coming in. Dulce doesn't even notice that the slave is actually like right next to him that entire time. Out comes the shatter
from behind,
and the back charge. Shiro Dax getting a good tire out there. Ashe trying to go for the barrage. They're in the final stages of trying to get this point capped.
Knights don't have any tanks here. They do have the Junkrat and the Ana, so...
And they aren't going to get to point in time, unfortunately. And that ends up being a point game match for Knights Templar.
Play of the game.
He did on the first map there, Robo.
Yeah. Knights taking this.
Alright. So now the difficult point here, our MVPs and honorable mentions.
Yeah. That was a good surprise that Sai can use
A gun. Right now, I think I'm torn between 2 to 3 people actually on Knights Templar side between their MVP and honorable mention side of things, between Slave, Jupiteers, and then maybe Apollyon.
I was thinking the same. I was thinking like GB and Slave as the MVP, and then whichever one didn't get it.
Jupi did happen to be a solid. Yeah, exactly. You just trade off the other one. It was a solid pickup for the Knights Templar in this season. Apollyon was one of their big ones from last season, and the Slave has proven to be a huge pickup too in the last couple games that I've seen them in. The Slave kind of did have a good solid front line. Apollyon, always solid performance from Apollyon. He's actually one of their core performers all the time. So I might lean more towards getting Slave, the honorable, and then Jupiteers maybe the MVP. Or sorry, reverse that. Slave the MVP and Jupiteers the honorable.
Yeah.
Would be where I'd be leaning, I think.
Same. Because Slave did like you said, did hold that front line really well. Was allowed Knights to be aggressive just because he was able to take that space when needed.
Exactly, and surprising to see somebody like there's not a whole lot of good Annas in our tier. She did surprisingly well with that too. Now, I'm kind of thinking Adults would be my choice for honorable mention. I think on Stray Dogs, they were able to hold things up on front line, whether like as an off tank, pretty well. With their
Yeah.
main tank, even when the main tank ended up either deviating or going down or something like that, maintaining that same amount of pressure up on the front line, I think, was actually pretty important for them.
Yeah, I feel the same way. For all the reasons that you stated.
Let's go TKT. All right. So we do happen to have another game that's going to be starting in just over an hour. Let me just get the rest of today's schedule up for me here. Okay, so we got the Titans versus the Six Heads. This will be our Tier 5 group. So our 2300 and lower, roughly average SR for a team at 230. So we'll have actually both Dax and Ali that were on Knights Templar here will actually be casting that one with Applebottom as their host this afternoon. So we will get to see Ali and Dax again today, in a sense. And then at 5 p.m. tonight, we actually have Jets versus DDM. That is going to be a nutty game to watch, actually. So I definitely recommend people tuning in for that. We got that's part of our tier 2, I believe, set, which is roughly about Masters area there. And then we have Outcasts versus Three of a Kind at 8 p.m. tonight, which is our tier 1 game, which will actually be casted by Ash, Cod, and Josephina. So we got tons of games left for today. We got a few tomorrow as well. Come back and have some fun. All right. Well, thanks, Jedi, for joining me last minute, saving my ass from having to just sit here and talk by myself. I mean, I always joke that if I have enough coffee and toss a bunch of whiskey into it, I'll just never shut up. So works out regardless.
Well, it's good that we didn't need to get you alcohol poisoning for you to do that.
What do you mean alcohol poisoning? There's no poisoning.
A bunch of coffee and whiskey?
Dude, have you ever had Irish coffee before? That's what it is.
No?
I have like a little tiny thing of whiskey just for that. Sometimes when you end up waking up with a hangover, it's a perfect way to cure it. Coffee with a little bit of whiskey in it. Anyhow, I am not here to endorse being an alcoholic. So let's get this ended so that way people can actually have some time to kind of wind down before our game at 2:30 Eastern time. So thank you, folks, and we'll see you soon.